What's going on, guys?
Hello, hello.
Hey, Scott. Hey, Megan, our star for tonight. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good, good. So we're so psyched to have you on. You've had a bunch of success, and I know you've been working hard on the court and off the court. So I can't wait to get into that tonight. But first, I just want to let everyone know, who Megan Fudge is. Who are you? What do you have going on in your professional life, personal life? Tell us.
I'm Megan Fudge. Some people know me as Megan DeHeart. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a home educator, I'm a pickleball player now. So I'm originally from Germany. My mom's from London and my dad's from New Zealand. And I got to grow up playing tennis on the red clay, grinding, and came over to the States in 2006 to play college tennis for the University of Illinois. Got to meet my husband in college and just, kind of decided to keep my life here in America. So it's been a fun journey.
I
That's
hear he's a pretty good pickleball player too, huh?
Yes, he is. Yes, Ryler and I have been fortunate to be able to take on this journey together. So it's been super fun. Actually, a memory popped up on my Facebook that this past weekend last year, we played the Orlando PPA, which was our first official tournament that we played. We played 4-5 division, mixed doubles and women's doubles. I played with my friend here, Valerie, and actually that was the first time we watched live pro pickleball. And Ryler had walked over to the center court stage because our amateur matches were over and in the boonies. And Ryler came back and he was like, those are real athletes. They're amazing. I mean, I want to do that. I don't want to do what we're doing right now. I want to do that. I was like, okay, yeah. Who are you watching? He was like, oh, I saw this Tyson guy, this McGuffin or something. And he was fun. And it was that was our first real experience of seeing how a real tournament is run, how the pro players played, and how the atmosphere around it too was just so cool. And we're like, okay, what do we think? Can we do this? Do you want to try doing this? And he was like, yeah, why not try? Why not and see how it goes? And a year later, I'm sitting here and I played pro pickleball. I mean, that's amazing.
So, who can we attribute to introducing you and Ryler to pickleball? Who can we thank for that?
Yeah. So, actually, Leslie Bernard, she's a senior pro player from Naples. Ryler had recruited her son to FSU to play tennis there when Ryler was the assistant coach, associate head coach there. And she kept on telling us, guys, you need to play pickleball. It's on the rise. You guys need to play. It's so fun. And we're like, Leslie, listen, we played with you once or twice. She kicked our butt. And we're like, I don't think it's for us. I don't think it's, something we want to pursue, but it looks like fun. You keep doing your thing. And she stayed on us. 6 months later, she was like, no, you guys need to try this, And during COVID, actually, during lockdown, when we were living in Orlando, we chalked up a court out in our driveway. And we were looking for things to entertain ourselves. And we had these paddles that she had sent us. And we just started goofing around and just playing a little bit competitive. Some of our neighbors actually came out and watched us. I think there's a video clip of us competing in the driveway because we're a little bit competitive. And we got a little tense, just a smidge competitive. And so that just kind of got us thinking oh, why not pickleball? Why could this be something we do together? And then we moved to St. Pete after kind of that lockdown happened. And we looked for ways to meet other people. And we heard about a club in the kind of St. Pete area. And we showed up and met another family that had kids. And it just became this social thing that we did, that us two couples hung out and our kids hung out and we played pickleball and we started talking pickleball, and I started getting obsessed with watching videos of pickleball, and so it's just kind of
how it starts.
Yeah, right? Addiction. Oh my goodness.
That's so cool. I love that story. It's kind of reminiscent of everyone's story to pickleball. Everyone has an origin story about how they started, and obviously you and Ryler coming from such high level tennis backgrounds, it kind of was a perfect segue into pickleball. You guys are like the perfect candidates. Ryler playing on tour, you playing high level college tennis. So, and you have two little ones who are also playing pickleball, correct? I want to show everybody your beautiful family right here.
Exactly. Lily and JR, they are probably, I would say, it's safe to say they're more addicted than we are now. They are so obsessed in playing pickleball. Every time Ryler and I get on court, they're like, oh, we're going to go play a match. Like, we're going to go on the back courts. We're going to go play a match. I'm like, okay, like, you guys go right ahead. And little do I know, like, well, after 30 minutes of training, like, I look over there and they're just like in an intense battle. Like, they just constantly just play singles against each other. And here and then they've had a chance to pick up some adults that are coming onto the courts, and they'll ask them to play doubles with them. And it is, this is in a local park, like 2 miles from our house. Like, this is not an established club or like a fancy country club or anything like that. We just go to public courts and train, and our kids get to play right there. And it's been such a fun journey for us as a family, and to dive into a sport like this, it's been incredible.
Who wins the battle between Lily and Gerard most of the time? Which one has the edge, do you think?
Okay, so it's interesting because Ryler and I, we've been kind of, going back and forth and getting a little bit worried that maybe JR will take over too much. But the matches are going back and forth. Like, the first time we kind of videoed it and to kind of get some footage for them to see themselves play, JR snuck out a really close win, like 11-9, 13-11. It was like absolute grueling battle. Like, they took their like technical timeouts. They were just like, so they were on it. I mean, it's incredible. And then the next day they went right out and Lily beat him like 11-4. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, and I was JR was devastated. He got his stuff and went against the wall and started practicing against the wall. Like, he was just like, okay, that's not going to happen again. Like, I got to go back to it.
Those are Fudge DeHeart children, are
exactly.
they? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Right on. So it's right now it's going back and forth. They have totally different styles of play. JR is definitely more like me. He's more of a grinder. He just is like a back wall. He just tries to run every ball down and just hustles. And then Lily has the beautiful forehand like Ryler, and just try to smack a forehand for the win. And then she's closing in tight now and wants the volley game as well. So it's so fun to watch us to like just let them play. Like, we really don't give them much input or technical work, or we're just like, okay, just enjoy it. Just like let it become, let your personality come through. However you want to play, there's no wrong way. There's no wrong way to play.
Oh, and
just enjoy.
Well, you know what? We have a question here for you. I'm going to kind of jump around since we're talking about, your personality coming out in your play. At this point, you're kind of known for your heavy slice style of play. Is that how you play tennis? And why do you think it's so effective for you in pickleball?
Yeah, I mean, it was actually something I have taken over from tennis. I had a very, very strong Western grip growing up playing on the red clay in tennis and in Europe. And so I had this extreme Western grip, like coming over the ball a lot, played very, grinding tennis, back of the baseline. And then I came over to the States, finally playing on hard courts, and I had to adapt. Like, my Western grip did not work too well for me. And so I was like, I just started slicing my forehand a ton, and it worked. Like, girls hated it. They weren't used to it. I got to slow the game down. I got a drop shot. I got to lob them. It was just a different style that they weren't used to. And, and it just became this, that's the way I played. And so I was able to kind of transfer that over to my pickleball game. That wasn't really the original plan. But again, I think, most players are still used to that, like that bang, bang pickleball, or at that point, bang, bang tennis, and the topspin style. And I just try to kind of bring more variety to my game.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's evident the way that you play. And I've had the opportunity and to play with you in a couple of tournaments. And you're so smooth. You are so smooth. And you do have a lot of variety. You slice your backhand. Sometimes you hit with two hands on your backhand. I think a lot of the time you slice your forehand, but
yes.
But it works. So Very, very cool. Very interesting.
I also wanted to point out that I played against you and Ryler in the was it the gold medal match in Boca back in like January, February of this year.
January, yeah.
In January, it was freezing cold, by the way, but that's a side note. But when we played you guys, I felt like you would. I don't know if this was a plan or if you guys just naturally kind of played this way. But Ryler being a lefty and you being a righty that slices a lot, you tended to hit your thirds and fifths and seventh and kind of stay back, and then he could poach off of some of those shots that you dropped down into the kitchen because you were very comfortable and confident, kind of dropping that slice in soft, forcing us to kind of go back to you, giving him that opportunity. I don't know. Do you guys talk about that, or is that something that just happened naturally?
Yeah, I think especially for the fact that I'm very comfortable on slicing my right side and having the feel for that third shot drop and to drop over and over again to kind of absorb the pace from it. That's definitely something that when we first started playing mixed doubles, we're like, oh, we could do this, like we're used to poaching from mixed doubles and tennis. He's very comfortable with that left hand in the middle. And if I kind of grind and stay back and just make another ball, it kind of worked for us in that phase. And we have, tried to evolve away from that a little bit. A lot of people have given us coaching advice and be like, oh, hey, Megan, you can't drop like the second ball, the third ball, the fourth, fifth ball. You can't keep dropping. Like it's, it puts a lot of pressure on Ryler and players just keep getting better too. So we've, as much as I know that I can do that, I need to get in. I need to get to the kitchen line as well and be in line with Ryler there. So we have somewhat evolved away from that game style a little bit, but we know that we still have that in our back pocket when we need it.
What are you currently playing with? How do you like it?
It's kind of funny because I was actually looked at the picture from last year of what paddles we use, and we did that the so common transition paddle for tennis players. We used the Babolat when we first came in, and just because we use that in tennis as well, we're like, oh, Babolat, I'm sure that's a really good brand. Like they have great tennis rackets, so obviously they'll have good pickleball paddles, and you could even see in the pictures they're like falling apart. They were great paddles for us initially, and we do enjoy them. And then we didn't actually play around with paddles too much because we really didn't know much about them and like the technology of them and the different kind of surfaces, the grittiness. People were talking about it at that time, but we're just like, hey, you can give us a frying pan and we'll figure it out. Okay. Like we'll figure something out with that paddle. And we knew that we wanted some support from a paddle company, and we're just kind of, putting ourselves out there and just waiting to see what would happen if we wanted to go and play some pro tournaments. And we got to meet Jen Griffin from Gamma in some open play and some rec games. And she was just so sweet and so supportive and intrigued by our journey that they jumped on board and made us a great offer in December to support our beginning phases of pro pickleball, and kind of took a shot at us and was like, hey, we would love for you guys to play professional pickleball. This is how we can support you and your journey. How does that sound? And we're like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what we needed. I've never tried your paddle, but let's figure something out. And like within a couple of days, they sent us a box of all their paddles that they had available to us at that time. And it just kind of snowballed from there. I initially started with the Legend, and Ryler had the Shard, and even though that is not the paddle that I'm using today, I'm actually using the 405, which has been the paddle that I just absolutely love. And I keep telling everybody it just suits my game so much. It's one that Paul Olin uses as well, that I kind of look up to on the singles game. And so, it has the extended handle for my 200 backhand that I like. It has the thinner core, so I can actually feel the ball a lot more. I've added some weight to the head to kind of create a little bit more power through my strokes, especially on a windy summer day in Florida. And it has the most grit that I need right now, especially because I don't really hit that much topspin on my forehand. I don't feel like I need, that carbon grit that everyone wants. So it just works for me. That's the paddle for me. And I'm supported by an incredible company, Gamma, who loves us as a family and who supported us. And I couldn't be happier to be with a great company like that.
That's so great. I've noticed Gamma, you guys always look like you're one unit, all supporting one another, whether you're playing against each other or you're rooting somebody on in their match. It's really nice to see. They seem like a really wonderful company.
We actually have team dinners. So at tournaments when a group of us play at, we actually get together and have team dinners, and Gamma invites us out, whether there is with one of their staff members. It's been like one of their technology guys one day, another time when during the, which I unfortunately missed, was the Gamma Classic. They had all the players come out and they had them out for dinner. It was just like, it really does feel like a team. And we have a group message on there as well. And they all sent me messages for Sunday and wished me good luck. And it just seems really, really, very, really, really nice. I don't know how other companies do it, or if they have something like it. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But that just has been so fun for us to be part of. Also meeting other players and meeting other pro players, whether it's senior pros like Paul Olin and Leslie Bernard, who's now joined our team as well. So I'm super excited to have her on with Team Gamma, and Teresa Tarn, or whether it's other pro players like Riley Newman. We've had a chance to have dinner with him and chat with him about his journey. We got to talk to Spencer Smith and Alex Truong, or that's is a next gen player, but she's been doing this journey longer than us. So it's fun to kind of pick her brain, and she always has fun with our kids as well. So it's been really cool.
That's awesome. My experience with Gamma has always been very positive too. Monarch, who I'm associated with, is very close to them because they're both up in Pittsburgh. So we actually use a lot of the Gamma wraps for Monarch paddles. I don't know if you even knew that, but so they work very closely together. So my time with Gamma has always been very good, and of course Jennifer Griffin getting some big shout outs tonight on the interview. But there's a whole team of people there. You've got a bunch of people that make Gamma go, and they are a significant company in the sport, and they're not going anywhere for sure. So very glad to see you guys teamed up with somebody like Gamma.
Yeah, no, we feel very, very fortunate to be able to say that we're part of a great company, and one that believes in our journey, and has, even within the 6 months, 8 months that now we've been with them, they continue to evolve their arrangements with us and support, and it's been pretty phenomenal.
Okay, so moving on into our next question. You are literally coming off, is it your first gold medal win in a women's pro singles bracket? You just beat Georgia Johnson in the finals, making your way through the back draw.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta Open, I mean, it was the APP, I think called the Metro Open. It was a tier 1 event, which I'm still learning what that all means. But yeah, it was an interesting event. The draw was not that big. We had about 8 to 10 players, and I knew the draw was going to be tough. And I literally knew every player but one in the draw, and everybody was good. I mean, I knew going in, whoever I drew first was going to be a battle. No matter what, we've all seen each other. We've all played each other. I actually drew Jenna Hessed first round, who had played in Newport Beach for the first time. She was a track runner at Yale. She's an incredible just beast on the court, and a really, really sweet person as well. So I knew it was going to be a hard first round match that we had played. It was basically a rematch of Newport Beach. She is very, very strong, very, very fast. And I had to come out with my A game from the get-go, and she actually took the first game off me, and I had to adjust some things in my game. I had to get to the net. My volleys were just off, and then I made those adjustments, lucky in the second and the third, and got through that match, and then played Georgia Johnson, which was in the semifinals of the winners bracket. Georgia is always a tough opponent for me, especially with her serve and her aggressive play. And but I did manage to get match point on third. I don't know I think you have a clip of that.
Let's show it right now.
Got it. Johnson staying nice and calm, placing that ball where she needs to. Oh.
Yes, just right after that, I earned my first match point there at 10-9 in the third, and Georgia just, ice in her veins. She just didn't phase her at all, and I lost that one 13-11, I think, or 12-10. I can't remember in that third, 12-10 in the third. Yeah, and
Megan, when you're going through that right there in those moments, are you thinking about anything, or are you just in that flow? Like, you get in that zone. Is there anything going through your head at that point when you're up 10-9 or she's up 10-9 and you're trying to battle through those points?
yeah, it's interesting, like I obviously watched the match back, especially getting ready for Championship Sunday. I watched that match back, and I know the commentary talked about my mental game and maybe struggling mentally with being up so much and then getting down and then losing. But in all honesty, like when I play pickleball, or especially when I play Georgia or someone like Georgia, it's such a game of momentum. It's such a game of a roller coaster. It really, even till that last shot is hit, you never know when it's over. And I feel like they said it about tennis when we're playing tennis, but I actually feel this in pickleball even more so. It's such a shift of momentum and going up and down, and with people just like catching on fire, especially painting a couple of lines on the passing shots. A week prior up in Chicago, I was up 13-8 in Georgia again there. And she just caught fire. I mean, like she just started painting some lines. I didn't feel like I was doing anything wrong. I was still being aggressive with my returns. I was coming to the net. I was putting pressure on her, and she just came up big. And I just can't, I don't let that get to me, in all honesty. Like that doesn't faze me. I need to stick to my game plan. I need to stick to what works for me best and just keep going after it and hope that, she misses a few extra ones at the end and I can get to that finish line. That's how I felt about that match on Thursday. And right after, I had to bounce back. I played Emily Ackerman, who was a Cal Poly tennis player, who's kind of hit the scene recently, and I knew she was going to be a good opponent for me. I got through that one, I think 15-10 or 15-11, I think, something like that. So close, game to 15, anything can happen. Then I played Jenna Hessert, and she had just come off a win against Lauren Stratman. I knew she was full of confidence. She's eager to get through me, and we had I think some incredible rallies. I remember going back and forth, and she ran another ball down, and I ran another ball down, and she's going left, and I'm going right, and it just was back and forth, and it was a really, really fun match. But I was able to sneak that one out 15-10. Against her, and then earned my spot in the bronze medal match against Mary Brasha. Mary, obviously, coming off, I think 2 gold medal singles wins this summer out in California on the APP tour. I did get to play her in Newport Beach at the USAPA tournament.
You actually haven't lost to Mary before. Every time you play Mary, you've defeated her.
Yeah, yes, and maybe I'm getting in Mary's head a little bit, but I respect Mary so much. She's a phenomenal competitor and has a great game. Maybe not, maybe some adjustments, but I did actually before Newport watch quite a bit of tape on her because I really respect her a lot as a player. And a competitor, so I knew she's good. I mean, she's very, very strong, and she has a great singles game and also a good doubles game. But it's just something I had to kind of working on some tactical plays against her that was going to be a little different than playing someone like Georgia. So yeah, I was able to get come ahead on 3 sets against her, or 3 games. I still say sets. 3 games against Mary in that bronze medal match, and earn my first Championship Sunday, which was pretty awesome.
So I went back and looked up your record against Georgia, basically dating back to about March of last year. I didn't get further than that. And you've beat her a couple of times, and actually, recently had some tougher losses to her, but you have beaten her before. What's your mindset going into the final match on Championship Sunday, and then also to beat her in 2 games and the game to 15 because you came through the back draw? I mean, what was going through your mind before the match, during the match?
Yeah, I mean, like definitely having beaten her this year gave me the confidence. I know that I can. I think having that self-belief obviously really, really helps. I got to watch the match back from Thursday, just kind of seeing what had worked. The unique part about Championship Sunday that I've never had to experience before was the fact that I actually get to go fresh into our match. That's a key component for me, just because matches are grueling for me. I mean, a long day of pickleball where I'm putting in those miles and running more balls down and just the mental capacity as well, because I just put it all. I always put it on the line. I go after every ball. I don't just let it go, and every point counts for me. So being able to go in that on Sunday fresh, and having talked to my team at home, kind of going through the tactics, the game plan, chatting with Ryler as well, who was going to be on the sidelines, just kind of talking about what I needed from him in the support from the sidelines was just so crucial. And then stepping up on Sunday and just being like, you know what? I'm just going to go after it. I'm going to let myself play. Sometimes I get a little tentative, especially on my returns and my serve, because I'm so worried about not missing. So I'm still in that mindset of like just being a backboard. And I know when I play someone like Georgia that I need to take more risks. I need to push the envelope more if I want to come out on top. And that's what I did on Sunday. I went after my serve more. I went after my return more. I accepted it when she passed me really, really well. She will, but I will not stop coming out. I won't stop my game plan. What I know will work, and if I'm gonna get a chance to beat her, then that's the way I'm gonna do it. So I just kind of stuck to my guns, I want to say.
I have a question. Georgia's, a next gen player. She's, I think, 15 or 16 years old. Has gotten dramatically better over the last year and a half. We've seen it firsthand. But do you find that when you're in that match that you can rattle her a little bit? If she's, if you can maybe get in her head a little, maybe, I don't know if that's even a thing at that level with you guys, but I feel like being a little younger, maybe in singles, you can rattle her a little.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I would say with some players you could at that age, but Georgia's been around the game for a long time, and she has, she's got to be around pickleball a whole lot longer than I have. She may not have played college tennis that some people feel like she could have drawn experience from, but nonetheless, she's a very experienced pickleball player. She didn't need to play another sport to gain experience. Like, she's been on the scene, she's done it. She's been in the limelight for at least this past year. People talking about her and watching her play, and her brother and her mom and everybody in her whole family. So I think she's very, very mature for her age when it comes to, for pickleball. Or I don't know her personally, so I'm not quite sure on that side. But I think she's a phenomenal pickleball player. She has a lot of power, and I don't necessarily feel like I can rattle her, but I know that she sometimes goes through highs and lows, just like most players do, but say maybe a little bit more than other players, because she's so aggressive and goes for a lot. So it was more my, trying to get to one more ball, trying to challenge her to maybe overhit, trying to challenge her in a sense of like that I'm not going anywhere. Like I'm still here. I'm going to keep running left and right. I'm going to keep trying to make her hit one more shot, and see if she can keep coming up with the goods.
Yeah, I think from the match play that I saw you in singles play this past weekend, that was evident. I absolutely can tell you're doing off-court stuff to improve your fitness, because I know you are running down balls that should be winners, and you're getting them back over just for maybe the chance of getting that point. What are you doing in terms of fitness off court? And then everyone always likes to know drilling versus playing. What's your ratio?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So in general, I love drilling, and Ryler will tell you that I obsess over drilling way too much, and he wants to play more and more and more. But I love to drill. I prefer to go 80-20 from the drilling to play, depending on the week that we're in, whether it's a tournament week or whether it's a training block week. My training definitely varies a lot. But in general, I would say it's an 80-20 to drilling to like open playing time where we're at right now.
Do you find that you need to when you're gonna play singles and you're gonna compete in singles, do you find that you work some of the cardio a little harder going into that tournament? Like if you really want to make that run?
Yeah. So when it comes to my cardio and my work off court, I actually go to a special performance center called Diesel in Tampa that has really helped me work on my strength and my explosiveness and my speed. And with that, because my training there is about 90 minutes every time I go, and then I do sauna and red light recovery and cold tub as well. So it normally becomes like a 3-hour session when I'm there. And, just doing that training, it helps my endurance a ton. In general, I have always been like more of an endurance athlete. I actually did do some marathons and some half marathons, and I did do the Panama half Ironman as well. So endurance has always come to me pretty easily. I've been fortunate with that. So
are you kidding me? No. Wow.
Yeah, so I actually qualified for the nationals for the duathlon, so the run, bike, run. That was just right after JR was born. And so I actually do like running. So I'm sorry for all the people out there that don't like running. I actually do like running.
Well, you know what? This reminds me, actually, you got a great shout out from the Dink Pickleball, which you reposted on your social media, saying that you are one of the grittiest players out on the tour. And I just feel like it's in your blood, clearly.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's such I will take that compliment all day long. Like knowing that being gritty, I mean, like that's such a sign of my heart, how much I want it and how much determination. It doesn't take talent. It doesn't take much to be gritty, like that's just perseverance. It's just for being resilient and trying to, keep showing up.
And I feel like people feel that, people know it, if you watch Rafa Nadal or, Leighton Hewitt was always one of my favorite tennis players because it's just, they fight for every ball. And when I watch you play, you do that same exact thing. And you can't help but root for players like that because you do know how bad they want it when they fight that hard. And I love watching you. And I love that grit inside you. And I believe that you're going to be winning these gold medals, silver medals on the podium for APP and PPA for years to come now. So super excited about that.
Thank you. The other thing I was going to say when it comes to drilling versus play, the fact that I feel like I have so much still to catch up on. Like I have only been playing for, basically a year, maybe, seriously for like 9 months. And I have so much still to learn. And so I feel like when I'm drilling out there, when I'm on the court, I constantly have something I want, something a tool that I want to add, something I've seen other players do, like whether it's, Jessie Irvin or Anna Bright or Anna Lee Waters or, Irina, any of those. Like I watch a lot of tape and I watch a lot of matches and even, especially Simone, just her pickleball IQ. And I'm constantly trying to learn more and work on my game and adding things that I want, like I want to evolve. I want to keep getting better. I'm just so, addicted to getting better that the drilling component is so important for me as a player to kind of just catch up. Like, I feel like everybody's so far ahead. Everybody keeps saying they've been playing for 4 years, 5 years. And I'm just like, I can't catch up in time, but I'm going to put in the work.
Scott, you want to go for the next question?
All right, here we go. You competed on Team Chimeras for Major League Pickleball. How was your overall experience, and are you geared up for the final event in Columbus?
Yes, Major League. I mean, I can't believe that I get to play Major League Pickleball. Like, I honestly, I watched Major League last year during my phase of, trying discovering pickleball. And I watched it on TV and I was like, that looks so cool. Like, it's a team event, like college tennis, incredible atmosphere. People are just riled up. It's rah pickleball. And I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to work hard. I want to just train my heart, train super hard. And I want a chance at playing this. And I don't know if that's going to happen next year, I don't know, maybe in 2 years, but that's where I want to get to. And when Major Leagues, announced that they were going to do 2022 and it's going to be 3 events and it's going to be 12 teams. And I did the countdown. I was like, okay, 12 teams, 24 players. All right, let's make the list. PPA players aren't in. Am I going to make the list? Am I going to be in that top 24? And I remember talking to my friends here, and we all did the list, and we're like, "Wow, I feel like I'm better than them, but they have a lot more experience than me. Yeah, I can be right on the edge there." And it was actually during the U.S. Open in Naples that I got the text message. I knew the draft was going on, that I could maybe in, maybe not be in, and us as players, we found out sooner and weren't allowed to announce it and tell anybody. But I got the text message that Andrea Coop had picked me, and that I was pick number 24. I was the last one, and it was just like incredible. At the same time, I also heard that Ryler was just out and didn't get it, and and as much as we wanted this together, and so it was hard. While my excitement was up, and then it came back down because of Ryler not being picked, and so it was kind of a roller coaster moment for us, but yeah, I got chance to go out to Austin, play the first event with my team, getting to know them. I didn't know Andrea Coop very well at all. Like, I had never played against her. I never really met her much. I knew of her. I had watched tape on her, and then Daniel De La Rosa. All I knew was he was number one, racquetball player in the world. He had incredible hands, incredibly talented, and then. Rob Cassidy, like, the guy is just like incredible hands, and I did get a chance to play against him, and I was just super excited to be on a team and just be in that atmosphere. And Austin was all I could imagine and more. It was so much fun to play in that environment, and they just treated us like professionals. They treated us special and made us feel like they wanted us there, and they wanted to watch us, and their fans were great. And we had match points to advance to the quarterfinals and didn't quite get it. And it was devastating, to be honest. It felt like college tennis again. It felt like NCAAs where, our team had match points to advance and we didn't get it. And it was hard. I remember, standing there with Rob Cassidy and it was, we cared a lot. We care as players, as team players, and we all wanted it together. So it was a very, very cool experience. Same in Newport, the second event. We were eager to make a dent and to kind of get to advance. And again, we had match points, and we lost against Florida Smash and another dreambreaker. And so yeah, it's such a cool atmosphere. It's such a cool event. I feel incredibly blessed to be part of it as the 24th pick, the last pick in, and I'm excited for Columbus. We did make a change. It was hard, being a team player. I had a hard time with making that switch. We traded in Rob, my mixed partner. So I do feel responsible there that we couldn't get it done in mixed. And we traded Rob for Gabe Tardio. And so we have Gabe Tardio on our team. So that's
a huge pickup.
Yes, it is a huge pickup.
Rob Cassidy is an unbelievable player without question. But Gabe Tardio, 16 years old, on the rise. Can't believe he wasn't even in the initial drawing. So what a pickup for your team. Wow.
Yeah, again, this whole pickleball MLP draft and drop and all this stuff, it's been exciting. It's been fun. It's been talked about, but it's also been hard on players. So I don't want to take away from the factor that that the trades have not been easy on players, and talking to players, and even, knowing, being there when seeing that they just got the text or just got the joint email that they were no longer on the team. That's hard, it's hard from coming from such a small community that pickleball is, and everybody knowing each other and everybody being friends. And it feels personal when players get dropped and players get traded and be like, and not talked to. And it's been a very, very interesting dynamic that us as pickleball players, it's something we need to get used to, I guess, because MLP is not going anywhere. It's only going to get bigger. But we have to get used to the fact that we can't take it personal. It's a business decision. But it was not easy at all to make that choice as a team. We didn't take it lightly. It was definitely something we're all eager to win MLP. There's a lot of money on the line. So we are excited about Columbus. Gabe Tardio is phenomenal. It brings a whole nother dynamic to our team. I know he's young. I know he is a pure pickleball player, meaning that he didn't come from like college tennis or anything like that. But we're hoping that with Andrea's leadership and Daniel and my experience of just being on a team, that we can bring him in and make him feel comfortable and let him shine, because that's what he definitely is capable of doing.
Well, good luck to your team in Columbus. I hope to be there and cover some of it and catch you maybe in some dream breakers, hopefully on the winning end.
Yes, we need to get one of these. That was one of the big components, is that the singles is so crucial, and as much as it wasn't, unfortunately, Rob's strength to be on the singles court, we felt like we needed to make a switch to win one of these dream breakers. We've lost too many, and too many matches are coming down to these dream breakers where we just have to be able to win singles matches.
Right. Yeah. And actually it's as a viewer, one of the more fun things to watch. The team play is very fun, but really when it gets down to the dream breakers, I mean, you just feel all the emotion with every player that's on the court. And the fact that you could be playing other males, you could be playing JW Johnson for all you know. And a lot of the females have been successful against some of the guys.
Think about how much pressure a guy has playing against a girl. I mean, like,
they don't want to lose.
One of the key things, I mean, like you've seen Andrea took at least 3 points off JW in Newport Beach. And I know Olivia's come out on top on some really big points as well on the Dream Breaker against guys. In general, I think it's fun for girls. It takes the pressure off us because, like the guy's supposed to win those points. So I think a lot of times when depending on which team's deciding to match them up, some teams prefer to match girls with girls and guys against guys. And those are normally the stronger teams, whereas the weaker teams try and do those matchups that kind of put the stress on the guy.
So who gets to decide? Which team gets to decide what the lineup will be?
It depends on who wins the toss. So who's the home team, who's the away team. They get to decide either to respond to the mixed doubles lineup or they get to respond to the Dream Breaker.
Oh, okay. So they have the option.
Correct. Yeah.
If you get to the Dream Breaker, then.
So you make the tactical decision depending on our teams who we were playing against. In Austin, we kind of took the tactical move of wanting to know the Dream Breaker lineup. So when we got to choose, we chose the Dream Breaker. It didn't work out in our favor. So in Newport Beach, we switched that, we reversed that, and we're like, hey, we want to know the mixed doubles lineup first so that we want to win it out. We don't want to play singles. So we wanted to know that mixed doubles lineup first so that we can go and go for the win.
I think that's smarter at that time because you had, correct me if I'm wrong, Rob Cassidy was on that lineup. Yes?
Yes. Yeah.
And he's not that he would be a bad singles player in general, but he's not known for his singles game. So that might have been a little bit of a disadvantage if you go into those Dream Breakers where knowing that mixed lineup, you can make a better decision.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously Rob's strength is mixed doubles over singles. I mean, like, I think I would say the same thing about Daniel De La Rosa. I mean, Daniel doesn't necessarily have the singles experience either, even though he definitely is capable of playing very good singles. I mean, based on his tools that he has from racquetball, he can most definitely play singles as well, but he doesn't have the experience. Andrea is a phenomenal singles player. I would actually say she's probably one of the best women's singles players, but just doesn't choose to play singles right now in APP tournaments. But yeah, we felt comfortable on the women's side, but maybe just lacking the experience on the men's side. So we wanted to get it done in mixed.
I want to switch gears and find out what your pregame rituals are, post-game rituals, if you're superstitious at all. What do you do before, after tournaments to gear up?
Yeah, I mean, I used to be really superstitious in tennis. I had, the certain ball I wanted and my water bottle a certain way and like a certain warm up that I needed. So now traveling with my kids, everything has to kind of become a bit more flexible, I would say. My kids, they add a dynamic to our daily life when it comes to getting ready for tournaments, or even from the component of like in pickleball tournaments, we're never sure what the warm-up court situation is going to be, when are we actually going to play, what court we're going to be on. So it's a lot harder to have rituals in place. In general, I do love speaking to my kids right before I go on and just kind of getting that confirmation that they're gonna sit right there next to my court. They're gonna be watching, not wandering off somewhere, and then just knowing that they're cheering me on, and knowing that they love me no matter what. It's pickleball, and that's the thing that I get to enjoy. That right next to me on the court, I get to high five them when I have good points, or when I need just a reality check on my end, and just being like, you know what, it's pickleball. Like, I get to be a mom right after this, and they will love me no matter what.
Absolutely. And they always are there cheering on mommy. Always.
Yeah.
I love watching them, just support you and just love you from the sidelines. It's the sweetest thing to see your kids just adore you.
No, it's been very, very special, and I hope they remember these days and journeys, because I know in years to come I'm going to be the one on the sidelines cheering them on, and get to do what they're doing now, and just being there to support them on their pickleball journey. So I know the roles will reverse very, very soon.
Right. So we talked about in the beginning that Ryler also obviously plays professional singles, professional mixed doubles with you. You guys are an unbelievable mixed doubles team. But how do you keep your composure playing with your husband? Through the good and through the bad.
Yeah, a lot of people have asked us about playing mixed doubles with your spouse. There's not a lot of couples on the tour that are playing, and I think there's a good reason for that. And it's not always easy. And if you as asked us last week, we were 0-4 or on our record in the previous 2 weekends, and we were questioning things, and it's not easy. Definitely. Bottom line, it's not easy, just because we know each other so well, and he thinks, that I'm thinking something without saying something, and vice versa. And we just know each other too well, and he wants it so badly, and he feels like he doesn't want to let me down. And I think the world of him, and I think he's an incredible player. But the men's side is so hard. Mixed doubles is so hard. I mean, on the guys, so I think he feels pressure to, take it all on. And so we are constantly trying to work on the component of it's still us as a team. Yes, it's a 70-30 or 60-40 in mixed doubles. But we still have to continue to be there as a unit, and to support each other, and know that I have his back and he has my back. And it's easier said than done. I think we go through highs and lows. We did this past weekend. We went 3-2. We had some really good wins. We had some tough losses. But we're still working through what each other needs on the court. I know from my standpoint, I'm very fiery on the court. I need a lot of energy. I need a lot of high fives. I think there's a video out there that I just gave Ryler like this huge high five, and it looks like I almost broke his hand. But that's just like who I am. And sometimes that's not what he needs. And I need to realize that sometimes he needs to be more controlled and more emotionally calm out there to find his groove. And I'm still evolving and getting to know that component of him, and how I can be the best teammate for him as well. So I think that's how we're still working on it.
Well, I just wanted to say real quick that we watched you play up close in Philly, And unfortunately, Ryler couldn't make it to that one. But you were playing, I think, with Stefan.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say his name, but a
Over.
lefty. Yeah, you
And
like
then
lefties apparently for mixed doubles.
Yeah, it's been funny because I feel like I feel like I've been a magnet to these lefties, and I up in Chicago, I had Althoff and Rafa Hewitt, and then Stefan, and then Wes Gableson has actually reached out too, and everyone's
my
just
God.
like, hey, like, like we know you can play with a lefty, like let's play, and it's been funny because I'm just like, I can play right side too, guys. Like
Right.
I can play on that side. Like
Right.
I actually do enjoy playing right side. And so it's been a funny like ongoing joke kind of between us all. Like I was like, oh, I wonder which lefty's going to show up this time, and even Lee Whitwell, she's like, I'm the next lefty. I'm in it next. So or even I played with Olivia McMillan, another lefty in Philly.
Right.
So it's been an ongoing kind of
you're stuck with them. That's the deal. You're just stuck with lefties for life.
Yes, yeah, no, and it was actually super fun playing with Stefan. Not to mention that Rob Cassidy is left-handed too.
Yeah.
That I played MLP with. So it's been a great. I mean, the pickleball world is full of lefties apparently, and they're good, and they're really really good. So no, it's I had a lot of fun playing with Stefan. He's really really talented, very very fast hands. He's like a gentle giant, he's so sweet. But yeah, it was fun. And I am going to play some more tournaments this year, just one or two without Ryler, because he won't be able to go to those tournaments. And then when he's there, I will obviously play with him. I'm actually looking forward to playing with Johnson Cola in Houston. I'll actually get to play right side. And
not a lefty. Shocking.
Yes, I know, not a lefty. Maybe he'll play left-handed on that day. We'll see. But yeah. So, and obviously now in MLP, I'm going to have to play with a righty in mixed doubles. So I'm looking forward to kind of seeing whether I'm going to be playing with Gabe Tardio or if I'm going to be playing with Daniel. I think with either one of those guys. I mean, I'm super excited. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. We're going to get some practices in before Columbus and see what works for us.
I just want to ask you quickly, because Scott and I teach a lot of couples, and I'm sure you do too when you have time. But if you could give one piece of advice to a husband and wife to play with one another, what would it be?
Remember to have fun. You play pickleball for fun, and it's like, enjoy the game, that what it is. It's not anything more than pickleball, and realize that maybe personalities on the pickleball court come out that you don't see off the court, but don't judge them for it. Don't judge them for it, and just take it for what it is. It's a fun game to be played together, and if it's not meant to be played together, that's okay too. Then play against each other, but just to have fun, like laugh together, smile together, make memories together. That's the cool thing about pickleball.
Great. That's great advice.
And that's what I was really trying to get at when we watched you in Philly, is that your demeanor on the court is very calming. I don't know how to describe it other than like you're fiercely competitive during the actual point. So you're like dialed in, super competitive, almost in beast mode. But then between the points, it was like if you messed up or if your partner messed up, you were paddle tapping, you were smiling. It almost put us at ease watching it. Honestly, we actually talked about it. We were
How
like
supportive of a partner you are,
yes.
which is so refreshing to see.
For sure. So the reason I'm saying that is I wanted to ask you, is that a conscious decision to do that, or is that kind of who you are naturally? Because it was very nurturing, honestly.
I think obviously the mother instinct steps in maybe a little bit, but in general, I think when you're trying to be a good teammate, you have to know the person that you're playing with. And when it comes to, I was a college coach for a little bit. I was a zonals coach. I was, I've been on the coaching side and getting to know different personalities and getting to know people, what I feel like what will bring out the best in them, and it doesn't, I don't always find it exactly. And it's sometimes hard, especially switching up partners a lot. But especially that weekend in Philly, playing with Stefan and playing with Olivia, there were certain components I felt like that I had to do as a teammate to bring the best out of them. And it was for Olivia and I, it just worked that smiling a lot, laughing at each other and laughing at ourselves and our mistakes helped us get over it faster and brought the best out of our game. And that just worked for us, and playing with different personalities. I've had a chance to play with Bobby Oshiro, with Millie Rain, with so many different players now. I'm getting to play with Rachel Redker this weekend. I need to get to know them. It's hard for me to just jump on court and be like, hey, I'm Megan, I'm going to be me. Hopefully that suits you. That's hard, and so I do like the component of getting to know my partner so that I can be a good teammate. I can be a good supportive person. And if it's a lot of high fives and it's a lot of smiles and laughter, or whether it's like a serious face and I'm going to leave you alone because you need your space, maybe that's what you need. Maybe that's how that brings the best out of you. Then that's what I'm going to do. That's my job as a doubles partner. So I do feel like it evolves, it changes depending on who I'm playing with. But I know I play my best if someone asked me what I needed from a partner is that fiery component. People call Olivia a firecracker, and she sure is. And so that fiery component that I can get riled up with is what I look for in a teammate. But if that's not what they need at that time, I'm okay to adapt. I'm okay. I will adapt. I will evolve. I will try and do my best to be what my partner needs.
Well, a perfect example was when you and Megan Hall played back in women's doubles in Delray. She had an incident earlier that day and wasn't even sure if she was going to be able to play. And you were super supportive of that. I remember you even saying that you were okay if she didn't want to continue, and you didn't put any pressure on her to be anything that she didn't want to be that day. And then you guys go on this massive run and end up winning the gold medal in the women's division. To me, it was like I watched you kind of adapt to what she needed. And at that time, she didn't need fiery. She couldn't really do that, I guess, right? And
Right.
you were able to kind of keep a calming presence, be kind of the rock for that. And then you guys went on and won. So I saw that firsthand. I was watching it unfold, and I'm like, wow, this is impressive,
You were very new to pickleball, very brand spanking new to pickleball.
That's right. It was November or December last year, that you had asked me to come down to Delray. You're like, hey, there's this money tournament. You want to play? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, Megan Hall just asked me to play women's doubles with her. I'm coming. Like, let's go. I was super excited. I knew nothing about your journey. I had seen some tape on you playing wise, but I knew nothing about your journey. So that day, I mean, I don't think I'll ever forget the experience of, kind of getting to know you as a person and what you've had been through that previous year, and just being like, all right, what do you want to do? Like, I'm okay. This is pickleball, this is not anything more than just a game that, I'm maybe going to play or maybe not going to play. And, and it's just like, hey, let's, if you want to play, I'm here. And I will go to battle for you, and I'll do whatever it takes.
You strapped me on your back and played till 8:00 at night.
Yes. And I remember the first game we played, I was like, okay, how much do you think you're going to be able to do? And she was like, well, I really can't exert myself. And I'm like, okay, got this. Okay. So just make the serve, and I'm going to try and take over. Okay.
I can't really
literally the first game. I remember just you serve the ball, and then you kind of stayed on the baseline and just kind of scooted a little bit to the side. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to run here and I'm going to run there, and I'm going to figure this out. And every match kind of evolved a bit more, and I got to know you more as a person in a competitive environment, which was so fun. And I know you couldn't necessarily be 100% yourself. And I thought, but as the tournament went on, more and more of you came out too, which was so great to see. And trying to relax you and trying to, help you enjoy the moment with all of that, what was going on. Sports are so incredible. I mean, being in sports is so cool to see people's journeys, see people's personalities, see people's just blossom, like, or evolve or open up, or what sports brings out in people, I mean, that just makes it so special. I mean, whether it's tennis, ping pong, pickleball, soccer, swimming, whatever it is. I mean, like, that's what is so incredible about sports.
I think we all agree on that. And I think that's why we're all doing what we're doing. That's why we're playing. That's why we're doing this interview right now. It's just because we are in love with sports, but in particular at the moment, we're all in love with pickleball. So, but that's not all you are. You're not just an athlete, a professional athlete. You are a mother, you're a wife, you're a teacher, a coach. How do you find the balance between all of those things?
Yeah, I mean, good question. I constantly have to have reality checks, right? I mean, it's life is a constant balancing act of, trying to be a wife first, a mother next, to my kids. I homeschool my children, so I'm their teacher as well. And at the same time now, I evolved my life around professional pickleball. I'm this professional athlete that trains very, very hard each day and line my schedule up around my training and try and balance everything out. And while traveling week after week, I'm leaving. I came back Sunday night. I'm leaving again tomorrow. Back on the road for the next tournament. It's my 5th tournament in a row. It is a lot. I mean, but I get to do this. Like that's my constant reminder. And if I get to do this, I get to play pickleball. And if I decide next week or something's come up in our family that I cannot play pickleball anymore, that's okay. It's okay. I've let myself play and train and put myself in a situation where we as a family can do this. And we have the support around us, and we have the just the ability and the time and the flexibility to do all these things right now. And that's why we're just jumping on board and being like, let's do it. Why not? Why not us? And why not now?
Right.
Like, this is just exciting. And yes, I need to consistently remind myself to balance my life out. And I think, there's certain things that, for my spiritual side that I'm working together with Athletes in Action to try and find that balance there of like wanting to be more than just a pickleball player and a journey and inspiring people of, just being someone who is a leader in my community. So I'm excited to kind of dive into that in a couple of weeks' time and announce a bit more what I'm going to do with that. And then yeah, I had COVID a couple of weeks ago, and it kind of took me pretty hard. It was a really I don't like to be weak, and maybe that I'm diving in a little bit further than I wanted to at this point, but I don't like to show weakness, and especially being a mom and being doing a lot on my plate. And when I got COVID, I was pretty devastated. I was supposed to leave that weekend for New Jersey, and it just came off MLP. I felt a high from pickleball. I was excited. I'm playing well. I was super excited for New Jersey, and it hit me, and I had that positive test, and that's when it hit. And I was like, I needed that. I needed someone or something to show me that I couldn't play pickleball, and I had to take 2 weeks off. And I had to be rebalanced. I had to be back on, be at home and be there with my kids and be a mother first and be at home and rebalance my life again. And I think I need to continuously do that and not just wait for me to get COVID again. And I need to have those checkpoints and reminders of like, I wear a lot of hats. I have a lot of responsibility. There's more than pickleball in life, but right now pickleball is a big part of our lives. And yeah, it's okay.
Well said. Well said. So we're going to wrap up. I just want to ask you one last question. What are your goals for your pickleball future? What are you looking to do in pickleball? What are your goals?
Yeah, I mean, that's honestly like a very evolving question. I mean, for me, that answer is changing. I don't want to say by the day, but it's changing. Obviously, from a professional pickleball standpoint, like I want to reach my potential. Like I haven't got there. I've only been training for this for a year. I feel like there's so much I'm still learning. I'm so eager to get better as a player, and to add more tools to my game, and to implement those in tournaments, that I'm so excited on that front. So if you ask me from a technical standpoint or from a game standpoint, I have certain goals for my future, and from a standpoint of, from pickleball in general, what do I want to be with pickleball? Pickleball, I want to help junior pickleball players have a pathway into pickleball, and how to get involved. I'm inspired by my kids, to help kids get into this amazing sport. I want to be part of that, and I actually just reached an agreement with Duper as well. So I'm now a Duper athlete, and they are fully on board as well and supporting my journey and my vision of creating that pathway for junior players. So I'm very, very excited to work together with them, and seeing where that leads, and how we can make pickleball a team event for kids.
Wow, that's fantastic. So I had no idea that was your vision. I'm also very passionate about that. I think us both being mothers and seeing our children who are really going to benefit from this sport in 5 to 10 years. I think it's so important for the growth of the sport, for the health of so many kids who are behind a computer or doing something stagnant. This is just another activity to get kids involved and playing other kids, and it's not there yet. Pickleball hasn't really developed that part of the game. So exciting that you're involved with Duper, and that you're bringing pickleball to that next level for our youth.
Yeah, no, I'm very, very excited. It's just the beginning phases right now, and I'm eager to see where we can take this. And we don't have to be tennis. Like that was the big discussion. Like we don't want to make the mistakes of what the USTA has made. We want to make pickleball a team environment for kids to be supportive of each other and learning to be team players. That's where we want youth pickleball to go, and I think it's so big that it's far beyond just hitting a pickleball, a wiffle ball over the net. So I'm super excited to see where this is going.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Megan, for your time. So thankful to have you on. Wish you the best of luck. Where are you going next?
I'm off to Atlanta, PPA Atlanta tomorrow, and I'm not going to play singles this week. I'm going to rest in singles and get to just focus on doubles with Rachel Retker and mixed doubles with my husband. So we're excited to finish off this series of 5 tournaments in a row. Finish strong with PPA Atlanta, and then take a little training block, hit the gym again, and get ready for MLP.
Awesome. Well, best of luck. Have a great night, and look forward to hearing good news and lots of medals coming your way in the future.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you both so much.
Thanks, Megan.